Hello.
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 Greetings. I am Dr. Brenda K. Williamson.
I am Dr. Dawn Omilade Hicks Tafari.
My name is Rosalind Fulton.
I am Sharika Carpenter Stanley, and I am a
woman of refinement.
Woman of refinement. A woman of refinement.
A 2024 woman of refinement.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Renita, and I am the founder and visionary of the Refining Life Incorporated. Our mission is to provide you with experiences so that you can have your mindset shifted, so that you can lead a more positive and productive life. And we are here today to have one of those experiences. I'm so excited. First and foremost, I am excited because we are preparing to walk into the 10th annual Refining the Mind Women's Conference. That means we have done 9 of these successfully, and we are moving into our 10th year. I remember back in 2015 where I was scared out of my mind, thinking that I was crazy, even thinking about launching with a women's conference. But it's something about having people around you who believe in you and believe in your vision. And one of those such people is Yolanda Rabin. If you have never heard of Yolanda Rabin, get your life together. You're missing out on life. Look her up. She is on all of the social. She's on the local LinkedIn. She is on YouTube. She does all the things. Find her. But she is my good sister friend. And she convinced me back in 2015 to launch an organization with a women's conference. And so we did. And here we are now, 10 years later, walking into our 10th conference. And it's going to be a time. But I'm also excited because this year we are honoring 4 new women of refinement. We started honoring women of refinement our second year in 2016. We started with 7 women, 7 amazing women, and we honored them. They do all the things. They are the warriors. They are the people full of courage. They are the people who nurture you. They are the women who fight for all types of things. They uplift the community. They are women of faith. They are women's women. Okay. They do the things. They rock the life. Just fabulous. And so we have been honoring women of refinement every other year since. And so here we are in 2024. Here we are in 2024, honoring 4 new women of refinement. And that will bring us up to 22 women of refinement. The woman we are honoring today, I am excited because I talk about 2015 when we started the Refining Life. Guess what, y'all? She was there. She was our very first keynote speaker, our closing keynote. And she reminded us all that day that we were just fine and that we needed to have courage and be like a lion. This year, I am so excited to honor her. So without further ado, I would like to bring to each and every one of you Dr. Dawn Hicks Tafari. Yeah! Yeah. Because she's gonna come with me. She comes with me on the journeys. Whatever the journey is, she'll come with me. And yeah, we do the things together. So, Dr. Dawn.
Yes, ma'am.
And when I met her, she was not Dr. Dawn. We were thinking about becoming doctors.
Yes, ma'am. You and I both.
Doctor was a thought, but here we are today. And I remember in our process as we were preparing to name Women of Refinement this year, I had to check myself and try to remember. I said, we've already honored Dawn. And we had not. And I could not believe. I was like, how have we not? This was me.
Who do I need to fire?
And then
you ever think about, you realize you need to fire, somebody needs to be fired, and then you realize that person is you, and you be like, oh, wait.
Yeah. But what we will do is rectify that. Yes, we will. And yes, we are. This awesome, amazing, beautiful woman. We are so excited to name you a 2024 Woman of Refinement. Yes. And so while we will do a lot of, I'm going to give credit where credit's due today, but we will do this honoring once again on September 28th, where we will give you your official award. But today we are here to learn about you. So my very first question for you is, who is Dr. Dawn?
Dr. Dawn is a mother. I am a Black woman. I am a daughter. I am a lover. I'm an educator. I'm a staunch hip hop feminist. I'm a spiritual woman, Yoruba practitioner. I am a sister and a cousin and a friend and a friend and a friend. And I'm all of those things, right? I'm my granddaughter's, I'm my grandmother's daughter, right? I'm Clara's, I'm David and Diane's daughter, and I'm Clara and David and Joan and Charles's granddaughter, right? And I'm Ada and Woodson and Francis and James' great granddaughter. Like I'm all of them, and I'm them because they existed and because they breathed and because they strive to live in conditions that were much more horrible than anything that I could imagine, and that they lived so that I could breathe. And so I'm here, and I am because of who they are, and I'm you.
Yeah.
Because you are, right? And because of all of the people who lived so that you could breathe and do the things that you do.
Absolutely. You see where we are starting here. Why do I love Dawn? Because Dawn is Dawn, and I just love her, and so many others do as well, which is why, it was easy when we're listing this year to put you on that list. So we think about all the experiences. I think so. I have to bring up the story because it is us. I think about the story of when we first met, and it was one of those moments. I've had very few of these moments. I've had maybe one or two others, one other that distinctly sits in my mind. But it was a moment where you meet a person and they're one of your people immediately. Like it was no doubt. It was no hesitation. It was a pull of gravity. I said, oh, let's reel her in. Let's go in. And I remember meeting you very vividly, vividly remember meeting you. And I remember getting to spend time with you and create a bond that we didn't know would be tested so quickly. But then it was revived. It proved the test of time. And that was an experience for me. It refined my mind. It shifted the way I lived life because of my new connection with one of my new people that I didn't even know I was going to get. And I didn't know that you would come back to me either. After what seemed like loss, it just was separation and not a loss. And so my next question to you goes to that same idea, not particularly with us, but just, the mission of Refining Life is to provide people with experiences so that their mindset can be shifted so they can lead a more positive and productive life. So can you think of an experience that was one of those experiences for you, an experience that shifted you, that changed your mindset, that refined your life?
That shifted me and changed my mindset and refined my life. All right. So a couple of years ago, a year or two ago, I saw on Facebook a meme. My dog is running. I saw a meme and it said, "And I shall raise my daughters to believe they breathe fire." And I said, that's what's up. That's what's up. And and soon after that, my daughters have always been fierce, and I feel like it's been my job to not just be a mother, but to be a woman in their eyes, so that they can see what being a woman is, right? Like, I think that we teach, like, children learn by observing, right? Children learn by observing. And so we have to be the thing we want them to be and not just tell them. And so there was one experience, and I hate putting her on blast like this, but I love to put her on blast. But he had a little boyfriend, and he was being a little knucklehead, and she broke up with him, right, on Valentine's Day in the morning, and told him, keep your gift. Like, I don't want that. I just want to be done. And I just remember thinking, you ain't get the gift? Like, you... Right? And she was like, I ain't want his little gift. Da-da-da. And I laughed about that because I was like, girl, I would have got the gift first. And then painful. I know it. But this is the thing, right? This is the thing. My daughter taught me that day everything that I had wanted to be teaching her, right? That she's like, I'm a fire-breathing dragon up in here. And I don't have the time or the patience for the foolishness. And that moment for me really was impactful because I felt like I had done something right. Like, I feel like, you can get the degrees and you can get even awards and things like that. But when it's not till I see it in action. I saw my child, this is a teenager, standing up independently in her own power, proud of who she was, clear and sure about what she wanted. And no little gift was going to sway her, as most teenage girls would be easily swayed, right? I just, and that for me was a moment that helped me know I was on the right path, right? That gave me more confidence. Like, I think it's so important to learn from our children. And I love watching them and learning from them. And sometimes it's validation, right? It's like, yes, I'm doing something right. Right. But now I knew, I was like, yes, I am doing something right. And that was important. That was a really important moment for me because it helped me to stay the path. It helped me to know, like, all right, you're on the right track. You're on the right track. Whatever it is that you are doing and have done, they see you. I knew they were watching, but I didn't know if they saw me. You know what I mean? And they see me and it's working. And that was, I'm thinking that's the moment for me. That was one of the moments I can think of.
That's a goodie. I love that. Yes. Come on, fire breathing dragons. Yeah, that's good. That is good. But I love that you naturally segued into my next question. It's like you knew. It's like you knew. So part of this year's event is very important for us to remind ourselves that this refining process, this thing we call life, which in itself is a refining process, is supposed to be intergenerational. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times when we go to conferences and things, we find ourselves with women of close or our own age that are, I won't say single-minded, but a lot of like-mindedness. But we find ourselves, we're talking about all these things and then we're making all these shifts and changes. And we forget that there are other people who need it. Right. Not just other people who are our generation, or our girlfriends, or our homies, or whoever. No, there are other people who need it. Like the people who we wish, and we say this in the conference. Man, I wish I knew this before. I wish I knew this when I was younger. Right. And we don't ever... we don't, a lot of times we don't intentionally bring those ears into the room. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And this year I want to be very intentional. Even I don't know what the personnel will be. I never know until the day of. It doesn't matter who's registered today. It's not the same people who are going to be registered next week, because the way we do, sometimes we register like 2 days before. You can register today. So some of us register last minute. We don't know if we can come. I haven't registered for that yet. So we'll find out who the personnel is that, when we get there. But a few years ago, we brought younger girls into the room, and I think this was 2019, and we had a thing called Welcome to the Queendom, and we did some queens in training, and they had their own event within the event. And then in 2022, we partnered with Print Life and we brought girls in, but once again, they had their own room and their own space, and they got to have their own event within the event. And we brought them in the room for certain things. But this year, we're hoping that these women and young women of all ages will be in the room with us. And so we're going to be very intentional about making sure that every power panel brings their topic intergenerationally.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're talking about grief, which we'll talk about, that's an intergenerational process. If we talk about education, that's an easy intergenerational touch. But when we're talking about wealth, that too is intergenerational. When we're talking about movement, that is intergenerational. There is absolutely no reason why we aren't bringing those ears or those bodies to sit at the feet of those with the wisdom that are there. And so two of those people who I know will be there are our refined and expression ambassadors. Their names are Rain and Kennedy, and they are fabulous young ladies, and they are doing amazing things in the arts, and they are utilizing the arts to refine their mind and refine the way they express themselves. And so they are ambassadors. They'll be performing, they'll be doing speeches of their own during the event. But I thought, as we're thinking about women of refinement and hoping that they themselves will be women of refinement, if not just with this organization, because who knows, but women of refinement in life and in the world and impacting broadly. I wanted to hear their voices. And so we were talking to you all. I said, I wonder what they would like to know. So I got to speak with one of them, and she gave me a question for you.
Oh,
yes. Her question is, what keeps you motivated to keep going no matter what?
My motivation is knowing that that I am but a small part of a very huge and amazing existence. It's knowing that my great grandparents, who were raised on a point of fork plantation in Fluvanna County, Virginia, survived so that I could live, right? So that I could strive, so that I could vote and not be in shackles, that I could, go to college and get a PhD, that I could marry who I wanted to marry and have children when or if I wanted to. Like I'm constantly reminded of the sacrifices of those who came before me. I'm also constantly reminded that my life is such a small piece, that it matters, but that the world is so much bigger than just me, and that there are other people, and there are animals and trees and all kinds of things that need me to be me, so that they could continue to circle, right? Like this sounds really kind of as existential here, but in the sense that, but I really think about it in that way, like I matter because I take care of this dog, that this dog is able to do the things that she does when the cat she's chasing, and that cat goes home to its owner, and that, the butterfly effect, right? Like every little thing I do impacts others, and that motivates me. It motivates me to keep going every day, because I know that I matter, and I know that the things that I do matter, and I know that there were people, ancestors, who were looking down, whose legacy it is my job to carry on, right? I know that I'm motivated because I know that I got this this educator bug from my ancestors, and that me being an educator, that it is my responsibility to share what I know, to share my passion, to fight for social justice, for fight for equity in classrooms, whether it's when we're looking at race, or whether we're looking at gender, and how those things impact power, that I know that that's my responsibility. And so that motivates me, because I know that if I don't do it, sometimes it won't get done. And I know that there's other people out here doing work also, but I know that I'm here to do a particular job, and that I have to do it, so to ensure that it will get done. And so I matter in the broad scheme of things. I matter, and that's what makes it hard to ever give up, because I'm like, listen, this book has got to be written. And it's my responsibility, it's my task to write it. So I got to get up and get it done. Right? It's my motivation. It's very existential. That's a big word. It's very existential, but it's hard for me to just put my motivation into one little thing, because it's all of those things that drive me and make me keep going.
Yes. See, I can't wait for her to hear the answers.
She's gonna be like, "What's she talking about?"
No, knowing her, she goes, she will hit one of those. So my next question, which is the last question in our first part of questions, before we go to my favorite set of questions. This question is, what are you looking forward to at Refining the Mind 2024?
Oh man, the sisterhood. It's such a, I firmly remember one of the things that when I think of Refining the Mind, and I'm going to try not to cry, but it's too late, is that picture, that moment between us that Tony Shaw captured, right? Where we're hugging, we're embracing. And that, it's a picture, it's a moment, but it's so representative of the love that I had for you, and how proud I was to see your vision come into reality. But because of it's also about the power and the beauty that comes into that space, the sisterhood, the passion, the empowerment, the desire to be better. You know, one of the things that I like to say when I write on Facebook, #better than yesterday, right? Every day I'm just trying to be better than yesterday. That's another motivation, right? I just want to be better than yesterday. I can't always achieve the big goal, right? Big goals take time, take steps. But if every day I'm better than I was yesterday, I'm a little closer to that goal. And that's the energy that's in the space, at the Refining the Mind space. It's that I'm better than yesterday. I'm here to get a little better than I was yesterday. You know, I'm here to grow. I'm here to expand. I'm here to be empowered. I'm here to do it with other like-minded women. And that's the beauty. That's what I'm looking forward to, is just being in that energy. It's such a vibrant and exciting moment. That's a movement, right? It's a movement.
Oh, you know what? This is how, okay. So you all are getting the inside conversation. This is really an A and B conversation, but I'll see your way to stay here, because we're not going to share. So I love that you said that. So when I first, and this is insider information for people, when I first got the vision for the Refining Life, I originally called it the Refinery. And, you know, that's what I saw. People were going in one way and coming out literally like with things like just shiny and newer and brighter, and like they were glowing almost. And it was this idea that they had these things. They went in there into the refining fire and had things burnt away from them so they could become their more pure self. That's the whole idea of having your mindset shifted, that your mindset refined. And that was a vision. So I was like, oh, it's the refinery. And I had even made little cards. I had a cousin. We had, you know, she had created this R. And when Yolanda Rabin suggested that I go to Women's Empowerment that year and just kind of cast a vision, meet some people. And I hadn't planned on going, and God put another person in my path that ended up inviting me to Women's Empowerment that year, and had tickets for me to go. Like, this was a few weeks after I talked to Yolanda about it. You know, when things are set up, they're set up. And so I ended up going, and I said, okay, I'm going to do it, and I'm going to get the name. And it was taken. I couldn't have the name The Refinery. Like, it was.
Wow.
And so I was talking to my line sister, who will be, she's one of the moderators at conference this year. And it's the second time she's ever been able to come to conference. And she's been wanting for years. And so we were talking about it. She said, Renita, you know what you're talking about, really, it sounds like more than just like an organization. It sounds like a movement. It sounds like a lifestyle. And for you to go back and say that all these years later, and I don't know that you've ever been privy to that conversation, it's confirmation. And so when we think about things that keep us going no matter what, it's that it keep getting confirmed that this is something that needs to be done, that this is something that I was meant to do, that this is part of my purpose. And it's little moments like that that the confirmation comes when you don't even ask for it.
Yeah.
Maybe question something. So that was insider information. Now, back to our regularly scheduled, our regularly scheduled program. So these last questions are questions that I started asking when we started doing a program called Refining Reflections.
Mm-hmm.
We brought a woman in, and she would just tell her journey to get to whatever place of success she was at that moment, and what she had to refine along the way. And in 2025, we're planning on bringing that programming back. We've done it in person, we've done it virtually, and I think when we bring it back, it'll probably be a hybrid. We'll do some virtual, some in person, but it's something empowering about hearing a journey, just hearing a journey, and also it's empowering for other people, but it's empowering for yourself. That's why it's called Refining Reflections. It's a woman really having the opportunity to reflect on her own journey, and sometimes we don't do that unless we're born. So she does that out loud. And so at the end of those reflections, I would ask her 10 questions. And if you've ever seen the show Inside the Actor Studio with James Lynn, he asked these 10 questions, or asked similar 10 questions to every single guest. And it gives so much enlightenment on, who they are and what they are. And it's because it's off the top of your head. It's not, let me contemplate that and call you back. No, it's boom, whatever it is in that moment. And it may be true in that moment. It may not be true in 2 minutes, but it's true now. And so I said, I'm gonna borrow his questions. But then I found out he borrowed them from somebody else. So I didn't even feel bad about my borrowing, because he borrowed too. He borrowed them from Bernard Pravat. He is French, and he has a show called Bouillon de Couture. And he had 10 questions, and they were very similar, if not the exact same 10 questions that Jane Lipton asked, but I amended them for my needs. But I only touched 2 of them. So I'm going to ask you these 10 questions, rapid fire. First thing that comes off the top of your head, are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right. Question number 1. What is your favorite word?
Flabbergasted.
Ooh. What is your least favorite word?
No.
What turns you on creatively, spiritually, or emotionally?
Love.
What turns you off?
Hate.
What is your favorite song?
Be a Lion by Diana Ross from The Wiz.
What sound or noise do you love?
Children's laughter.
What sound or noise do you hate?
Oh, cars honking.
What profession other than your own would you like to attempt?
Broadway's actress, a triple threat.
What profession would you not like to do?
Sanitation worker.
Final question. What would you like to hear God say when you arrive at the pearly gates?
Well done. Well done.
And those are my 10 questions. And that is our interview for today.
My mother leave me crying, Lord.
Dr. Dawn, thank you so much. Thank you so much for being you, for allowing us to honor you this year as a 2024 Women of Refinement, for being a part of the history of the refining life, and setting us up and off with a time that we have never, ever, ever forgotten. You are refining life history. And so we thank you for everything that you are. I apologize that it's taken us this long to honor you, but I know that these things happen when they're supposed to happen.
Absolutely.
And I am excited about having you back in the space, about honoring you, about even your special guest, who I'm so excited to see her, and anyone else who is going to join us on September 28th as we honor Dr. Dawn and our other 3 women of refinement, as well as we're honoring in our own way every single woman who is there this year and every single woman who's been there and every single woman that is to come. Year 10 is a different type of year for us, and we are excited about what is going to happen. Our theme is just vibe. Just vibe. Yes. And having the opportunity to vibe with so many amazing women in so many conversations and connections, and we'll vibe over food because we're gonna have some good food. It is an exciting time. Yeah. Hello. We
Taurus. Team Taurus. We eat the foods. We like the foods. Okay.
And we're gonna have good food. But we're excited about this year and excited about you and everyone else. And it's gonna be a good time. So thank you again for your time today.
Thank you. How wonderful.
So if you have not registered, everyone, it's time. The time is now. It was you could register back in June, but I'm not talking about you. I know it's September and you could have registered in June, but now you see at the bottom of the screen it says givebutter.com/RTM 2024. You can register now. You can go to our website, www.therefininglife.com. The registration is there. Make sure you're in the place. It's going to be an amazing time. It's lots of love, lots of learning. You can laugh, you're going to cry, you're going to do all the things, but your mind will be refined. So thank you for joining us today. We'll see you September 28th, if not before.